Hi guys, today we will study about the local government for the competition exam. Okay, so local government. Before starting the local government, I will use this short form here. PRI. PRI means Panchayati Raj Institution, and CDP. CDP means Community Development Program. This Community Development Program was started by Indian government in the year 1952. Then the second is the NES. NES refers to National Extension Scheme. The National Extension Scheme was started in the year 1953. 1 year later after the CDP, which was there in the 1952. So the local government concept is basically at the village level, at the block level, and at the district level. In a district there will be different villages, and the group of some village will constitute a block, and the different block will constitutes or district level things. Okay, so the local government is there in the Indian constitution. Okay, so if you talk about the rural areas, if you talk about the urban areas, so in the rural areas there is the local government, in the urban areas also there is the local government. In the rural area there are a set of 29 subjects. Okay, and in the urban area there are set up 18 subjects. These 18 subjects in the urban and 29 subjects in the rural, they are the subject which is administered not by the state or the union but by the local bodies. So in the rural area we have the PRI. PRI means Panchayati Raj Institution. This PRI provision is given under the part 9 of the constitution, and from the article 243A to O. Okay, from 243 A to 243 O. So here I will also use the pen. So look here, it is written 243 A to 243 O. Okay, so next, the Constitution Amendment Act, 73rd Constitution Amendment Act, which was there in the 1992, it provided for the PRI, and it is mentioned in the article 243 A to 243 O. So you look at here. Okay, and this is also mentioned, there is a 11th schedule. The 11th schedule provides for the 29 rules. This 29 rules is provided in the 11th schedule basically. Okay, so 11th schedule is there, article 243 A to O is there, part 9 is there. This is all about the Panchayati Raj institution. PRI is there in the rural areas. Okay, so similarly for the urban areas, what happens for the urban areas? So this is the urban areas if you talk about here. So in urban areas what happened is there is only 18 rules. If you know, if you see here 18 rules there is. Okay, so in the urban area there will be the municipalities. Just like in rural area there was PRI, in the urban area there will be municipalities, and it is provided under the part 9A. Okay, it is provided under the part 9A. So these municipalities was formed by the Constitution Amendment Act of 1992. Okay, and it is given in the article 243P to 243GZ. Okay, 243P to 243GZ. Okay, so look at here. And this is also mentioned in the article in the 12th schedule of the India. The 12th schedule of the India provides for the rule of the municipalities, that what are the different subjects under which on which the administration will be done by the municipalities. These 18 rules are provided in the 12th schedule. Okay, so we have seen the local government structure, that how in the rural areas and how in the urban areas it is formed. Okay, so now let's go for the local government. Okay, so local government, what do you mean by the local government? First of all, let's talk about the what do you mean by the local government. So if you talk about the local government, so I will use a different pen here. Okay, so local government, I am here now. So in the local government, local people will be carrying out the local knowledge. Basically, there are local people have the local knowledge, and local knowledge is essential for the better development and the faster development of the local people. So local knowledge is there with the local community, and which is essential for the faster and better development. So local government is also required for the democratic decision making process. Why? Because if you involve the local government, there will be the democratic decision making process. It will democratize your decision making process. Whatever was the decision making process, there will be democratization of the decision making process. Third is the administration. After involving the local government, the administration will be more friendly. Okay, this will be more friendly. So now let's talk about the history of the local government. The history of the local government is that CDC CDC was formed in the year 1952. Okay, and the national ES, that is the NES means the National Extension Service. This was formed in the year 1953. These were the good initiatives based on the assumptions that each community will have the specific needs. Each community will have their own specific need, and for their specific need, the specific solution will be required. This specific solution will be given by the local people. Earlier, the problem was that for the specific solution also local people were needed, but these people were not involved. Earlier, this job of the local solution was given to the bureaucrats and officers. Okay, they could not understand the local needs, so the correction was needed. The correction needed was that the job to be given to the community themselves. Okay, so initiative was taken from the government of India by formulating the different number of committees were formed. So different committees was formed. So all these committees basically recommended local people. What they recommended? The local people to be empowered. They talk about the empowerment of the local people to decide upon how to bring the development in their local area. So in their local area, how the development will be brought, it will be decided by the local people. This was the general recommendation from different committees which was there formed by the government of India to look upon to solve the problem of development in the local areas. Okay, so that's it. So here is a new illustration showing the need of the local government. This person over here is saying, this is my local area, I know better than you how to develop it faster. So this guy is saying, okay, I will empower you to decide. Means this local people is having a local knowledge which is very important for the better development, faster development. And now you are empowering the local government. Okay, but how will you do this? How? The question is how. So this will be established by a system of uniform and a strong PRI. So there will be a system of uniform, means all over the India the same structure, uniform, and a strong PRI is needed. Okay. So there was different committees as I told you earlier. So what were the different committees that was there? So let's wait. Okay, done. So there was different committees as I know. The first was the Balwant Rai Mehta committee. The Balwant Rai Mehta committee was there. It was constituted in the year 1957. So 1957 there was the Balwant Rai Mehta committee. It was formed by the government of India. The main aim was to examine the functioning and problem of CDP and NES. There was the CDP, Community Development Program, run by the government in the year 1952, and the National Extension Scheme in the year 1953. So in order to examine what is the functioning, what is the problem, and how is the functioning of these things, Balwant Rai Mehta committee was formed. The report was submitted by this committee in the year 1957, and it input forward some recommendations. So what were the recommendations of this committee? The recommendation of this committee was basically the democratic decentralization. The democratic decentralization is also known as the PRI, Panchayati Raj Institution. Balwant Rai Mehta committee suggested that it should have a 3-tier of government there. Okay, so there should be the 3-tier of government. What is the 3-tier of government? The 3-tier of government means there will be some Gram Panchayat. Okay, there will be the 3-tier means at the level of village, at the level of block, and at the level of the district. So there will be Gram Panchayat or the village panchayat at the village level. Then there will be the Panchayat Samiti or the block panchayat at the panchayat level, and there will be the Jilla Panchayat and the Jilla Parishad at the district level. So this was the 3-tier government which was suggested by the Balwant Rai Mehta committee, which was formed in the year 1953 for the functioning, to reviewing the problems functioning of the CDP and NES. Okay, and it recommended for the three-tier government means the three-tier means the government at the village level, block level and Jilla level. Okay, so what was the very impact of this recommendation? The impact of this recommendation was that the National Development Council of India, NDC, it accepted the recommendation in the year next year, that is in the year of 1958. Okay, it accepted, but it said that it did not insisted the single rigid structure. It did not insisted on the single rigid structure, like there will be the gram panchayat, there will be the village panchayat, or panchayat samiti and the jilla panchayat, like this. It did not insisted on the rigid structure, but it gave some flexibility. It left on the state to design their own pattern of PRI which is suitable for the local condition. Okay, so the center left upon the state, so you design and you design your own pattern of the Panchayati Raj institution which is best suitable for your local conditions. Okay, so let's track the after the NDC recommended it, the institutions PRI was instituted in India. Okay, so we will now the track what was the what was the record of the PRI. So if you look here this graph, you just look in this graph, you will see here in the year from the year 1959 to 1965 for the 6 year, it is written wrong here, it is 6 year. So for the 6 year, what happened for the 6 year? For the 6 year there is a growth. Okay, there is a growth, the growth is there. And after the 6 year from the year 1956 to 1969 for the 4 year there is a stagnation period. A stagnation because there was no reinvestment from the government and there was less support from the state government in the PRI. So the next there is a stagnation. Then third stage, there is a declining nature in the third stage. Why it is declining from the 1969 to 1992? It is declining from 1969 to 1992 for the 23 year. It was declining because of some reasons, like there was the less support from the government, there less jobs were given, and people were dismissed from the PRI. So it was very bad conditions there. But from the 1992 onward, when the constitution constitution mentioned about the PRI, that is the constitutional status was given to the PRI in the year 1992, there was a resurgence means very fast growth in the PRI after the Constitutional Amendment Act of 73rd and 74th in the year 1992. So these things whole about the how the PRI performance of PRI was there. Okay, so now let's talk about the we have done with the Balwant Mehta committee. First we have done. Now we have the Ashok Mehta committee. What did he said? He basically Ashok Mehta committee was formed in the year 1977. The main aim of this Ashok Mehta committee was to revive and strengthen the declining Panchayati Raj system in India. We have seen in above slides that the Panchayati Raj institution, at first it grew and then it became stagnant and then it was declined for 23 years. Okay, so in order to examine, in order to review and strengthen the declining nature of the Panchayati Raj system in India, the Ashok Mehta committee came up in the year of 1977. What did it recommended? It recommended the three-tier government to be replaced with the two-tier government. Initially, on the recommendation of Balwant Rai Mehta committee, government had already cleared for the concept of PRI, where there were three tier of government, but this committee recommended two-tier government. Okay, one for the Jilla Parishad and second for the Mandal Parishad. Mandal Parishad means it is below the district level. It is below the district level, and for a village group of population, if it is more than 15,000 to 20,000. Okay. If it is more than 15,000 to 20,000, then the village group more than this kind of this level of population there will be a Mandal Parishad. Okay, so two-tier government was formulated, not three-tier. Okay. Second, it recommended that there should be a Nyaya Panchayat. What? There should be a Nyaya Panchayat for the local dispute settlement. Okay, which will be separate body from the development panchayat. So it laid down the importance of Nyaya Panchayat. It said there should be Nyaya Panchayat for the local dispute settlement in order to and it should be kept separate body from the development panchayat. Then what was the impact of this Ashok Mehta committee? The impact of Ashok Mehta committee was seen in the year 2008 AD. In the 2008 AD, what was there? Gram Nyalay. Okay, the concept of Gram Nyalay was the setup there, and the judges and advocate, they were sent to the gram in order to settle the issues. So there in the gram nyalay, the concept was, their set up in the year 2008 AD, and the judges and the advocate would be sent to the gram to settle the issues. Okay. So now let's talk about the GBK committee. There was third committee called the GBK committee. This is very important because this was formulated by the Planning Commission of India. Who formulated it? The Planning Commission of India formulated it. Planning Commission of India in the year 1985 formed a GVK Rao committee. It was basically formed to check upon the rural development and poverty alleviation. So how we can develop the rural development will be brought, and how the poverty will be alleviated. This was the main, the concept, the main aim for the GVK Rao committee. The finding of the GVK Rao committee was very important. It opened up the eye of the government that the finding was there was a gradual bureaucratization of the developmental process. All the developmental process that was supposed to be through the local bodies, it was not, but there was a gradual bureaucratization of the developmental process. Okay. The second finding was that it was diverse from the original PRI, means the concept of the PRI was not there. It was largely deviated from the PRI, or you can write diverse from the original PRI. Okay. So what did it recommended? It recommended there is a district collector. So it recommended that the developmental role of the district collector should be decreased, and the major role for development should be transferred to the PRI. Means there is a DC and there is the PRI. So district collector, their responsibility towards development, their role of the development should be decreased, and it should be transferred to the PRI. So PRI should be given the major development role. So what happened? It recommended that the role of the developmental role of district collector to be reduced and transferred to the PRI. So PRI को transfer कर देना चाहिए. What happened? They also recommended to create a post for the district development commissioner. So it recommended that there should be a post created for the district development commissioner. Okay. So district development commissioner post should be created. That we will call here a DDC, district development commissioner. So district development commissioner will basically act as the CEO of Jilla Parishad or the chief executive officer. So chief executive officer of the Jilla Parishad will be the district development commissioner. Okay. So suppose there is a very good illustrative here. Look at here. There are district. In district there will be the different developmental department will be there. So the head of the different developmental department that is existing in the state, it will be the DDC, that is district development committee. District development commissioner will be the head of all the, that will be in charge of all the developmental department at the district level. So GVK, so what happened? So what is the basic concept here? So the basic concept here is that the GVK committee, which was formulated in the year 1985 by the Planning Commission, it was formed with the aim of rural development and poverty alleviation. It said there is a gradual bureaucratization of the development process, and it is diverse from the original PRI. It recommended that the district council role in the development should be reduced and given to the PRI. It also suggested for the post creation for the district development commissioner post, who will district development commissioner post, who will act as the CEO of the Jilla Parishad, and it will be in charge of all the district all the development department that is present at the district level. Okay, so this was it. Okay, now let's talk about the LM Singhvi committee. The LM Singhvi committee. Now we will talk about the LM Singhvi committee. So what happened? LM Singhvi committee was formed in the year 1986. In the year 1986, the LM Singhvi committee was formed. So why it was formed? It was formed to revitalize the PRI. So from above we have seen that how it was divorced from the PRI, how there is a how there is the bureaucratization in the local government, so developmental process. So LM Singhvi committee was formed in the year 1986 in order to revitalize the Panchayati Raj institution. It recommended different set of things. So the first was it to give the constitutional status to the PRI. Okay, so it recommended we have to give the constitutional status to the PRI, plus there should be free and fair regular election for the PRI. Okay, so free and fair regular election for the Panchayati Raj institution. So the very impact of LM Singhvi committee was that in the year 1992, the parliament went for the constitutional amendment and formed the Constitutional Amendment Act 73rd and Constitutional Amendment Act 74. These two Constitutional Amendment Act basically came into effect from the 1993 on the date of 24th April 1993. And the Panchayati Raj Institution and the Municipalities Act was passed. So this was basically the LM Singhvi committee. So now let's go and study what is the provision there in the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. So basically the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act was mentioned in the part 9 of the Constitution. Okay, first. Second, after enacting the 73rd Amendment Act, we have moved from the representative democracy to the participatory democracy. There was a movement from the there was initially the representative democracy, and now it is converted into the participatory democracy because a lot of local people really participated. It also provided for the three level panchayat system. Three-level panchayat system. There will be the district level, there will be the intermediate level, and there will be the village level. So the Constitutional Amendment Act in the 1992 did not provide just two tier, it provided the three tier, the district level, the intermediate level, and the village level. Okay, but for the intermediate level, the state population should be greater than the 20 lakh. Okay, and the Gram Panchayat members and chairpersons will be directly elected, or there will be some election. That means there will be the members which is directly elected by the people from the Gram Sabha in the Gram Panchayat, and chairperson may be directly or indirectly elected. So we will see in the consequence in the upcoming slides. Okay, in the upcoming slide we will see it. So now let's talk about the PRI. What is the PRI? In the detail we will see here PRI. PRI means the Panchayati Raj institution that we have already seen. Okay, now the PRI. Okay, so election of the panchayati member, how the panchayat member are elected, that we will see here first. So election from the territorial constituency means suppose this is a constituency, it will be divided into several the electorate means here the single territorial constituencies, and that territorial constituency is also known as Gram Sabha. From one Gram Sabha or one territorial constituency, there will be one member elected, and that will go into the village panchayat, or the panchayati member will be there. Okay, so now let's talk about the composition of the election. Chairperson of the election. The chairperson election, how it is elected. So basically at the village level, what happened? At the village level, it is left upon the state government to decide whether the village level village level chairperson will be directly elected by the people, or it will be indirectly elected from the member. That is left upon the government to decide. And at the intermediate district level, it shall be elected from amongst the elected member of, if it is panchayat, in the intermediate it will be from the Panchayati Samiti, and for the district it will be from the Jilla Parishad. Means at the village level there is choice to the state whether it can go for the chairperson election directly from the people or from the intermediate. But for the intermediate, indirectly, okay, and or but from the intermediate level and district level, that selection should be from the elected member already at the intermediate stage, that is the Panchayati Samiti and the Jilla Parishad. Okay. The third is the provision required. There are some provision which is there by the state government, that state government should provide the representation of village panchayat into the Panchayat Samiti and Panchayat Samiti representation into the Jilla Parishad. Basically, the chairperson of the village group will be there represented in the Panchayat Samiti, and the chairperson of the Panchayat Samiti will be represented in the Jilla Parishad. Plus representation of member of a union of a state and legislative assembly in the panchayat above the village level. Means the Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, that is the member of parliament, legislative assembly, legislative council, that is the MLA or MLC. These people representation should be there in the village panchayat above the village level. Means at the intermediate and at the Jilla Parishad they should participate in here. Okay. Now let's talk about the reservation. So if you talk about the reservation, what happened to the reservation is that reservation talks about here is 73rd constitutional amendment provided the reservation at each level, that is at the 3-tier. So the 3-tier means there are different level of government, and the reservation will be there at the every level. Okay, reservation will be there at the every level. So just wait for a few minutes. Okay, so second is the reservation for SC/ST proportion to population in the area. Means first is the general reservation will be there at the all 3 level, and second is that the reservation for SC/ST will be in the proportion to their population in this area. So suppose the population is X, then in the proportion of X, the some seat will be reserved for SC/ST, and in that seat 2, 1/3 will be for SC/ST women, WAMN women, and remaining for the male. Okay, and reservation for the women, if you talk about overall, then there will be suppose there is the n seat in the total number of n seat in for the election, then there will be some seat allocated reserved for the women, and some seat will be for the main remaining seat. So as per the Bihar Panchayati Raj Act 2006, which 2006. So Panchayati Raj Act 2006 in the Bihar recommended 50% women reservation should be there. Okay, so this seat to be rotated also in different constituencies under the Panchayati area, and there will be rotation of the seats. And third is that the reservation for office of chairperson. So the office of chairperson, there will be also election at the, so there will be the reservation for the election of chairperson. For state, it is mandatory the state shall make reservation for the office of chairperson of SC/ST and women. So SC/ST and women is there. So for SC/ST and women, the state shall make reservation for the office of chairperson, but it may also reserve the seat to the office of chairperson for backward classes. Okay, so this is all about the reservation we have talked here. So now let's go for the PRI. We have seen the composition. Now let's talk about the terms. So the term of PRI, 5-year term is there. So if it is dissolved before the 5 year, and let's say after dissolving the remaining period is less than the 6 month, then there will be no fresh election. Okay, so if it is dissolved before the 6 month, less than 6 months, then there is no election. But if it is more than 6 months, then what happened? If there is more than 6 months, then election will be there held within the 6 month, there will be election. So under some condition, state government can dissolve it before the 5 year, but it have to give a due reason should be provided. Okay, now let's talk about the what is the provision. So what is the qualification needed? The qualification needed is that the minimum of 20 years of age should be there, and eligibility to be on, and they should be eligible to be member of the state legislature. Okay, and but some state have also put the extra qualification like the functional toilet facility they should have. Now let's talk about the function. The function that is need to carry out is already mentioned in the 11th schedule, which contain the 29 functions which need to be administered by the panchayat, like the health, the small scale industries, primary secondary education, poverty alleviation, agriculture. So we talked here about the health. Health is very fundamental basic cheez, basic thing. So health will be there, small scale industries will be there, agricultural will be there, primary secondary education will be there, and the poverty alleviation. These are the things, some of the things which is there in the 29 function of mentioned in the 11th schedule. The second is about the election provision, how election will be carried out. So for election commission, the article 243k, if you look at the article 243k, the article 243k said that state election commission will be there to conduct, control and give the superintendent's direction of the PRI election. So Panchayati Raj election will not be done by the Election Commission of India, but it will be done by the State Election Commission. It is State Election Commission is also a constitutional body under the article 243k. Note that State Election Commission is appointed by the governor. State Election Commissioner will be appointed by the governor. Okay, state has appointed the governor, but the state can influence the commissioner. So commissioner may not take the independent decisions. So for that, for the independent working of the commissioner, the removal is given. The removal capacity is given to the president. Okay, so it is not the governor who will remove the election commissioner. It is the president who will remove the election commissioner, just like the high court judges. Okay, so now other condition of the state election commission is left to the state. Other condition will be decided by the state. Okay, so now let's talk about the finance. So if you talk about the finance, how the finance is given in the PRI. So basically for the finance, the 73rd constitutional amendment said that the governor shall form every 5 years a finance commission. The finance commission will be there formulated by every 5th year. Okay, and that will be called the State Finance Commission. It will review the financial health of the panchayat. Financial health of the panchayat will be reviewed by the Finance Commission. So Finance Commission is under Article 243I. Okay, it is under Article 243I. It decides the principles, the distribution of finance between the state and the panchayat. So what will be the distribution of the finance between the state and the panchayat? This will be decided. It also decide what toll taxes must be assigned to the panchayat for the collection. So what are the taxes that should be assigned by the panchayat for the collection? Toll taxes, what fees must be assigned to the panchayat for collection? That is decided by the Finance Commission. Now let's talk about the composition of the Finance Commission. The state government provide criteria for the composition, qualification, manner of election to the members. So it is not the center who will decide what will be the composition, what is the criteria for qualification, manner of election for the State Finance Commission, but it is left upon to the states to decide. Okay. Now let's talk about the finance. Let's talk about the function. What function it will carry out. Basically, state will carry out some functions. Basically, look at this diagram. Okay. So if you look at this diagram, you will see here the center is the source of money. Okay. So the center, there is a center. Center is basically the source of the money, and center will allocate the 42% vertical devolution to the different states in India, and state will be again the source of the money. Now the state will distribute how much money to the panchayat, that will be decided by the finance commission of the state. So okay, this is the function of the PRI, means the finance commission function is this only. So that's it, guys. We have finished the PRI chapter. So let's quickly, I will recall you what you have read here. Okay, so that's it for today video. Bye bye.